Boo! Welcome to this week's episode of The Screening Room. And since it's the month of October and Halloween is around the corner, I thought it would be fun for me to just, share with you my top 10 personal, and I only mean personal, selection of horror films for this month of spectacular October. Welcome to The Screening Room. And as usual, there may be spoilers today. At number 10, my personal favorite, The Evil Dead, directed by Sam Raimi. This film talks about a group of teenagers who goes on a vacation in the cabin in the middle of the woods, starring Bill Campbell as one of his early roles in a slasher horror flick-ish kind of haunted, possessed kind of film. So they enter this cabin in the middle of the woods. Things started to go wrong when they discover a book and an audio tape, and the voice from the tape start to chant some ancient chant and spells, and then demons come, they take possession of one of their friends, and one by one they start to die. One of them is raped and molested by trees. One of them is being poked by a pencil and gets haunted, possessed, get trapped in a cellar, chopped up in pieces. It was fun, it was gory, it was gruesome, it was scary. I saw this when I was a young teenager. I thought it was scary then, but now looking at it, it has a bit of scare factor, but it's also a bit of silly fun. Not very strong in story, but who cares? It was one of those type of films that you just put it on, you guys are, having a sleepover, it's popcorn and telling scary stories around a campfire. This is the type of film. But my thought was that if you are in the middle of a forest and when you are about to open a door and you see a swing that is moving, the moment you touch the door, the swing stops. Chances are that the place is haunted. Get out of there. I don't know why these people are so dumb, and that's why it's so fun. Number 10, The Evil Dead. Coming in at number 9, Stephen King's It, Chapter 1, The Reimagining. Loosely based on Stephen King's book, It, and it was made into a TV series starring Tim Curry back in the day.
Aren't you going to say hello?
Okay, but this is the reimagining, starring Bill Skarsgård as the new Pennywise the Clown. The story is the same, a group of teenagers called the Losers Club in the town of Derry, and one by one children are missing. It starts off with one of the boy that's playing with a boat down the drain and gets eaten by Pennywise the Clown, and then years later Pennywise the Clown comes back again. Things start to happen, but these Loser Club, they manage to find a clown, but the clown tries to get into their mind, and each and every one of these kids have their own fears. Good reimagining of this story in this current time with updated special effects, and the cast of the kids, the acting is superb. Everyone should watch it. It, one of my personal favorite, comes in at number 9. And at number 8, Poltergeist. What can be said about this film? This family moved into this new estate because the father was one of the main housing contractors, and they were trying to sell all these houses. But strange things started to happen. The young child started to see images and voices through a television, and the famous words that she uttered when the ghost breaks into this world still sends shivers down my spine, and it is an absolute joy to watch the small little kid really spook the hell out of you. And it's the same with the haunted house tropes. If the house is haunted, get out, but they still stay. And good for us, we see them suffer. Ghosts come and taunt them. The girls get robbed from this world, thrown inside this closet, and she enters to the next world. You have paranormal investigators coming in. There's this very nice spooky fun of trying to scour yourself into the unknown. It is a wonderful movie. Unfortunately, rumor has it that this film is absolutely cursed. One of the actresses before the debut of this film was murdered by her boyfriend. The young actress Heather O'Rourke on the third film died mysteriously of pneumonia. One of the actors playing the Indian in Poltergeist 2 also died. The old man also died. I mean, it's just horrible curse. But for Poltergeist, the first one, the scene in the swimming pool, the dead bodies were actually real bodies. That I think should be a law broken by itself. But nevertheless, give Poltergeist a try. It is wonderfully paced. It is scary as hell. It's a fantastic product, everyone, for Halloween. Number 8, Poltergeist. Coming at number 7, another Stephen King film, The Shining, the original, starring Jack Nicholson as Jack and his family. They are on a trip to a job, and his job is to babysit this particular hotel, the Overlook Hotel, while the rest are on vacation in winter, and he's there because he wants to write his book. But the hotel has a mysterious past. Ghosts are roaming a hotel. The boy is seeing these twins at the end of the hotel trying to taunt him. This scene is also famous for the blood doors, blood coming down from the elevator shaft. The ending is superb. It is one of those mysterious endings that nobody really know what it is about, and we can only assume that this is a repeated cycle. Much to be discussed, much to savor. Wonderful film directed by Stanley Kubrick, a director that was so perfect in his craft that he actually tormented Shirley Duvall until she went almost crazy, losing her hair, to personify a very deranged mother in the film. It is a film of all ages and perhaps a favorite of many horror buff. Coming in for me personally at number 7, The Shining. Coming in at number 6, very aptly known, The Sixth Sense, starring Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment, and this wonderful psychological thriller of the boy that constantly says, "I see dead people." And true enough, he sees specters, spooks, people who have died, unanswered questions of the afterlife, and he sees so many of them that he's so scared. Bruce Willis plays a child psychologist who wants to help him overcome these fears, because he himself have not finished an unsolved case of a child himself that he could not help when he was a child psychologist. So these two lost souls need each other to fulfill their innermost targets and desires, with an earth-shattering twist of the century. No spoilers here for those who have not watched The Sixth Sense. Go and catch it immediately. Don't listen to anyone else and wait for the ending. It will not disappoint. The Sixth Sense, coming in at number 6.
Please make them leave. I'm working on it.
At number 5, a Spanish film called The Orphanage. Wonderful crafted about a mother and a son with her husband moving into this big mansion, formerly an orphanage, where she herself was an orphan when she stayed there as a young child. And as she opens up this particular place for young children to stay, she's trying to give back to society. It opens a floodgates of memories of one particular orphan in the past that may not have really left that place at all, coming back to haunt her memories and her dreams, and perhaps endangering her son as well. Please give this film a chance. If you don't like to watch and read subtitles, so sorry for you, you have to endure this. But please, you will never be disappointed. The Orphanage, personally, coming in at number 5 for me. Coming in at number 4, Nicole Kidman's The Others. Also, another film with a twist of all twists. Nicole Kidman and her family is living in this large mansion. Her children are photosensitive, allergic to the light. The whole mansion must be closed off from sunrise and sunset. And then in come a group of 3 servants to help raise the children. We see bad things, strange things, supernatural things starts to emerge. Ghosts, voices, footsteps, door closing, door opening, and then she suspects that the servants may be a part of these supernatural things. I do not want to give the ending away, but The Others will surely drive the creep factor up for you. The ending is something like The Sixth Sense, wonderfully hidden and never expected. Coming in at number 3, a film quite recent, Hereditary. This film, directed by Ari Aster, about a family that's trying to come to grief of the death of their grandmother. Little do they know that the death is just one part of something more sinister that's going to happen down the line that will affect everyone in the family. Somewhere in the middle, a shocking revelation occurs, so shocking that it left the theatre totally silent and very frightened for what is going to happen next. The pacing of this horror is so evenly paced. The anticipation of what's going to happen at the climax is so mind-numbing that you, on one hand, want it to happen, and you, on the other hand, do not want to see it. It is tearing your senses apart. If you have the stomach for it, Hereditary is a film that you have to give it a chance for.
I just don't want to put any more stress on my family.
Coming in at number 2, Conjuring, starring Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson as Ed and Lorraine Warren. Loosely based on the case of the Perron family that moved into a farmhouse in Rhode Island. Lo and behold, as they moved into that place, strange things started to happen. Manifestation of shadows. They were already up in arms until they approached Ed and Lorraine Warren. For those people who know who Ed and Lorraine Warren were, or unfortunately they have passed away, they were what we call ghost hunters or demonologists or paranormal investigators. They help people solve cases that cannot be solved by traditional police means. And this is a case they themselves claim they could not solve because the entity of Bathsheba, the witch that haunts this place, is so strong that the only thing that they could only do was to communicate with the entity. The Conjuring has what everyone wants: scare jump, wonderful acting, wonderful production design, and a music score to really drum out the senses. If you really like a good scare, give Conjuring a try. For me, it comes in at number 2. And now, the moment that all of you have been waiting for, my personal favorite, coming in at number 1, The Exorcist. Yes, the film that everyone's been talking about in the 70s. It is the film that everyone says you must watch.
Going back in there. I have a friend in there alone, and I don't want to leave her in there alone.
It's very, very real.
I don't like it. I want to go home.
I want to see if it's going to make me throw up.
Man, that is one of the most grossest movies in the world. I ain't never took my coat and hit it over my face like that.
The film that was so horrifying that people were fainting in the theaters, they were having seizures, they were vomiting, ambulances would have to wait outside to bring people to the hospital. It was a film that was so scary. It was banned in several countries. The film is loosely based on a true story of an exorcism of a particular boy that was possessed, but in this case it was starring a female actress, Linda Blair, as Regan, who was possessed by this particular demon. And this film has so many iconic scenes. It has this famous 360-degree head rotation.
Damien! Hey
God, defender of the human race.
Vomiting scene, deleted scene of her walking upside down a staircase like a spider. Max von Dow was the priest. This film has everyone saying that it's the #1 horror film of all time. Sure, it's in the 70s, and perhaps sure some of the effects is dated, but nevertheless, this particular film itself needs its own episode of reviews, breakdown, and behind the scenes. If you have the stomach for it, if you have the patience for it, if you have the courage for it, perhaps you might want to see this with a group of friends. Never see this alone. Coming at #1 for me, the world famous Exorcist.
The Exorcist.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my first personal top 10 list from the screening room of horror films that you can watch during the month of October, the month of Halloween. Stay tuned for the next episode, whereby I will review one film from this list and do a proper screening room review just for you for Halloween. Hit the subscribe button, click the like button, turn on notification if you want to be notified by us. And if you have any other films that you want me to review, please put down on the comments section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Please do come back again. And this channel, the screening room, the room is always open for you.